After Diddy's imprisonment, his prison guard has finally broken his silence and is ready to spill all the covered-up secrets.
The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward.
With all the new allegations and revelations, can Sean Diddy Combs get any more disgraced than he already is? From exploiting minors to drugging them, he really left no stone unturned.
And drugs were found in their system, weird drugs. Drugs that you probably never heard of.
Secrets have finally come to light, revealing the struggles of disgraced music producer Sean Diddy Combs in prison. According to Combs and his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, one of the biggest challenges he faces is the food. Following a court visit on October 10, 2024, Agnifilo remarked, "I think the food's probably the roughest part of it." Combs is being held at a detention center in Brooklyn as he awaits his trial, set for May 5, 2025. He faces serious charges, including illegal exploitation and racketeering, with allegations that he exploited women and others over many years in various ways. Combs' prison routine includes an early breakfast at 6 a.m., followed by lunch at 11 a.m., and dinner after the afternoon headcount. Meals range from hamburgers and fish to beef tacos, with occasional healthier options like lentils and tofu. During a recent court appearance, Combs, dressed in prison clothes, waved to his family and lawyers. His mother traveled from Florida to be there, and his children showed united support. Prosecutors are currently analyzing a large volume of data from Combs' devices, with suspicions that he might try to influence witnesses, which has led to his bail being denied twice. The charges against him include orchestrating forced performances, with details laid out in the official indictment. At 54, Combs remains behind bars, facing potential lawsuits from around 120 people who intend to sue him for alleged misconduct and exploitation, according to attorney Tony Busby.
The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward. Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us, with people claiming to have been victimized by Sean, and drugs were found in their system, weird drugs. Drugs that you probably never heard of. One in particular that continues to pop up is a drug called xylazine, or trank, which based on our research is known as a horse tranquilizer.
New details have emerged about the accusations against Sean Diddy Combs, painting a darker picture of the allegations he faces. Attorney Tony Busby has added to the list of claims, alleging that Combs used horse tranquilizers to drug victims, one of whom was reportedly as young as 15. This victim was said to have been heavily drugged and taken to a private room, allegedly in Combs' presence. Amid these serious accusations, Diddy's mother, Janice Smalls Combs, has publicly defended her son, expressing her heartbreak over the situation. "I come to you today as a mother that is devastated and profoundly saddened by the allegations made against my son, Sean Combs," she said in a statement. She believes her son is being judged unfairly, denied the chance to prove his innocence, and condemned in the court of public opinion. "It is heartbreaking to see my son judged not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies," she continued. "To bear witness to what seems like a public lynching of my son before he has had the opportunity to prove his innocence is a pain too unbearable to put into words. Like every human being, my son deserves his day in court to finally share his side, and to prove his innocence." This chapter marks a drastic change for Diddy, who was known for his opulent lifestyle and larger-than-life personality. Adjusting to prison life has been anything but easy, especially in a federal detention center. Former reality TV star and ex-inmate Timothy Smith, who spent time in a federal prison, has some insights into what Diddy's life is likely like behind bars. According to Smith, even a high-profile celebrity like Diddy won't receive special treatment in the federal system. His money and wealth won't get him any benefits in the federal system. It's so limited. "You don't get extra privileges because you're rich," Smith explained. Inmates at the facility are allowed only basic items like a tracksuit and sneakers. Even these modest possessions can be confiscated during routine cell inspections if prisoners attempt to keep more than they're allowed. Smith dispelled any notion that Diddy might have access to luxury items, saying, People think there are TVs and radios, but where he's at, there's nothing, not even a radio. You get a Bible and one book per week. Smith also described the use of isolation as a common tactic for controlling inmates. Diddy was initially placed in a management unit, which meant he couldn't interact with other inmates. The communication restrictions in prison can also be isolating. Inmates receive only 300 minutes of phone time per month. Once they use it up, they must wait until the following month to make any more calls. Smith notes that the time can quickly run out, leaving prisoners without contact with the outside world for much of the month.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the SHU have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him.
Larry Levine explains that Sean Diddy Combs' current experience is vastly different from what he anticipated. Diddy initially believed he would be released on bail, but when his request was denied, he found himself fully confronting the realities of the criminal justice system. Upon entering prison, he was assigned regular sessions with a mental health professional, likely due to concerns for his safety and mental state. Initially, Diddy was placed in a special cell equipped with a transparent wall, a setting commonly referred to as the bubble. This arrangement, used primarily for suicide watch, allowed for constant, unobstructed monitoring. Specially designated inmates, known as cadre inmates, are assigned to watch over individuals in such cells. In addition to performing various maintenance tasks around the prison environment is fraught with risks, and Diddy's high-profile status could make him a target. Levine points out that housing him in a regular unit presented too many potential dangers, leading to the decision to place him under round-the-clock surveillance in this transparent cell. The threat of violence is a constant factor, especially for someone in Diddy's position. Levine notes that an inmate with a long sentence and little chance of release might view harming Diddy as a way to build street credibility. This careful arrangement highlights the unique challenges for high-profile inmates like Diddy, who must navigate not only the physical but also the psychological demands of prison life.
And this is why Diddy, he can't go into a regular housing unit because somebody will take him out for sure. Somebody's gonna get a lot of street credibility out of this. People that are doing substantial time that know they're never getting out. They'll just the guy.
Now that Sean Diddy Combs has been detained at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Brooklyn, attention has turned to the conditions at this infamous facility. The MDC has long been notorious for its harsh environment, with even federal judges expressing reluctance to send defendants there. Recently, a U.S. district judge opted against sending a tax fraud convict to the MDC, citing barbaric conditions and the troubling state of the facility. The MDC has faced scrutiny for years, now amplified by high-profile inmates like cryptocurrency entrepreneur Sam Bankman-Fried, alongside Diddy. Past notorious detainees have included R. Kelly and Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell. Judge Gary Brown and other federal judges have voiced concerns over MDC's inadequate supervision, lack of medical care, and uncontrolled violence, supported by substantial evidence of these issues. For instance, one inmate was reportedly attacked multiple times with a knife, received no medical treatment, and endured 25 days confined to his cell. The judge attributed the escalating issues to staff shortages and the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, which had led to extended lockdowns. The MDC's troubled history dates back to its opening in the 1990s. In 2019, an electrical fire during winter caused a blackout, leaving inmates in freezing conditions without power. The following year, an inmate named Jamal Floyd died after being pepper sprayed by guards, leading his family to file a lawsuit against the government. Despite acknowledging that pepper spray was misused, the Department of Justice did not find sufficient evidence of administrative misconduct. In another recent case, Judge Jesse Furman of the Federal District Court in Manhattan allowed a drug convict to remain free on bail, rather than subjecting him to the MDC's unsafe conditions. Andrew Dock, a Brooklyn public defender, describes the MDC as plagued by a mix of overcrowding, understaffing, and lack of political will to improve conditions. He emphasizes the human toll, recounting a client's death at age 36, following a fight within the facility. Congressman Dan Goldman, representing the district, has also called for increased federal oversight to address the jail's issues, from understaffing to violence. The Federal Bureau of Prisons, BOP, responsible for MDC, claims it is creating an urgent action team to address the facility's issues, and is making efforts to hire more staff. Part of the overcrowding problem stems from the 2021 closure of the Metropolitan Correctional Center, MCC, in Manhattan, where Jeffrey Epstein's death prompted its shutdown. With MCC closed, many inmates were transferred to MDC Brooklyn or to a medium-security prison in Otisville, New York. The result has been a strained, unsafe environment that some legal experts describe as pure hell. Prison consultant Sam Mingle calls the MDC the worst federal detention center in the U.S. Diddy's early days in MDC saw him under constant surveillance in a transparent walled cell known as the bubble, where suicide watch protocols were enforced. In this high surveillance setting, fluorescent lights and cameras stay on 24/7. Inmates are strip searched whenever they leave their cells, and personal items like toothbrushes require special authorization. He was later moved to protective custody, a section designed for high-profile individuals or those requiring extra safety, housing around 30 inmates in single cells with limited recreational space. The daily life Diddy now faces is a stark contrast to his former luxury. Meals follow a strict schedule and consist of unappetizing options, such as murder burgers, described by a former inmate as thin, leathery patties, shredded chicken with rice, and chili. Though inmates can eventually buy extra food from the commissary, initial access is restricted. Basic privileges include monitored phone calls and limited email access, at a cost of 5 cents per minute for email. Diddy's celebrity status and wealth could offer some level of protection, as guards or other inmates may seek favors or financial incentives. However, this could also make him an easy target. Inmates convicted of sexual offenses, particularly high-profile ones, often face threats or worse, with Mingle warning that Diddy's alleged charges may increase his vulnerability. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all charges and denied the allegations in civil lawsuits. His spokesperson maintains his innocence, highlighting his commitment to fighting the claims, none of which have been proven. If convicted, Diddy faces a possible sentence of 15 years to life in prison, a fate that could mean spending the rest of his life in the challenging conditions of the federal prison system.
Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. He came to New York to establish his innocence. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of the charges. There's nothing that the government said in their presentation today that changes anyone's mind about anything.
Diddy's legal team has argued that the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Brooklyn is unfit for pre-trial detention, citing recent detainee deaths and concerns raised by federal judges. They requested a transfer to a New Jersey jail, but this decision lies with the Bureau of Prisons, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams expressed general concerns for the safety of pre-trial detainees, but clarified that he does not equate Diddy's situation with the circumstances surrounding Jeffrey Epstein's death while in custody. An investigation by the Associated Press has highlighted systemic issues within the Bureau of Prisons, including escapes, violence, deaths, and severe staffing shortages across facilities. One recent example of these problems was the shutdown of a women's prison in Dublin, California, due to staff-inmate misconduct. In response to these concerns, President Joe Biden signed a law in July 2024 to enhance oversight of the Bureau of Prisons. For Diddy, these developments are part of a larger, complex situation. His arrest and the associated charges have stirred public interest, drawing comments from figures like rapper 50 Cent, who has a long-standing feud with Diddy. In a now-deleted Instagram post, 50 Cent claimed Diddy would secure bail at his next court date, and challenged followers to keep the same energy if Diddy were released. This social media jab is only the latest in their rivalry, which has intensified as Diddy's legal troubles have unfolded. 50 Cent has even announced plans for a Netflix documentary on Diddy's alleged misconduct, produced in partnership with director Alexandria Stapleton. The two stated that their documentary aims to give victims a voice and provide a comprehensive look at the impact of the case on hip-hop culture. They emphasized that Diddy's alleged actions should not define the entire culture, which has broader contributions and complexities. Since his arrest on September the 16th, Diddy's legal team has proposed two $50 million bail packages, both of which were denied. The first offer was rejected by Judge Robin Tarnowski, who cited the private nature of Diddy's alleged crimes and concerns for the safety of potential victims. Judge Andrew L. Carter also denied a subsequent bail request, noting the serious charges and adding that bail conditions seemed insufficient to ensure community safety. Diddy's sons, Justin Combs, Quincy Brown, and King Combs, were present at his second hearing, where the judge noted that raids on Diddy's properties had uncovered 6 firearms and revealed attempts to influence witnesses. Diddy's defense argued that his interactions with former girlfriend Cassie Ventura were misinterpreted, with attorney Mark Agnifilo claiming that their violent episodes were separate from their relationship's romantic aspects. However, prosecutors countered, citing evidence, including the infamous 2016 hotel security footage, which allegedly shows an incident involving Cassie. Prosecutors asserted that Diddy's behavior was untrustworthy, further undermining his chances for bail. The defense's attempt to explain the couple's relationship dynamics did not convince the judge, who questioned the relevance of love in justifying physical aggression. In their latest bail attempt, Diddy's team proposed home detention, GPS monitoring, weekly drug testing, and a strict no phone and no internet condition. Yet, this request was again denied. Agnifilo stated that Diddy intends to testify in his upcoming trial, aiming to expedite the process. The indictment includes unsettling allegations about so-called freak-off parties where Diddy allegedly forced victims to engage in interactions he organized, directed, and reportedly recorded electronically. Evidence of these events, the defense claims, will be central to the prosecution's case. As Diddy awaits trial, which has yet to be scheduled, his legal team continues to work on securing his release while preparing for an intense legal battle. The case has highlighted serious concerns around MDC's detention conditions, as well as significant scrutiny on Diddy's personal life and professional legacy.